This is a creek, and on this creek is a lot of gold. Every bucket I'm sending down is putting real decent gold in there.
That's right, it's winter in Australia. That means our creeks have water, and I'm able to get out there and finish the 100 bucket challenge to see how much gold I can get in 100 buckets.
Ah yes, feet condoms. And unlike the ones in my wallet, these ones get used a whole lot more regularly. Not that you should be reusing the other ones. That's not a good practice. There's a massive storm that's meant to roll through for the first time in like a really long time. And so there's cloud cover, and that means it's really freaking warm, which is weird. This stuff is super nasty. Luckily for me, this is dead and an invasive species, and if it was native, I wouldn't be able to touch it. However, you're out of luck today, Mr. Gorsebush. Get out of luck. And see, now I've got another problem where it's just going to choke the creek up. Yeah, get out of the way. They're so spiky and mean. Oh, that didn't take long. The whole reason I enjoy the fact that this creek has an extremely painful and annoying plant on it is because it has protected the gold. Most people who come prospecting look for the easy gold, and fair enough, if you've got 24 hours to live and come out and do panning, you're not going to go to a place where you've got to spend a good 6 hours cutting your way in, but I have that luxury. So I've cut my way into this creek. All of the gold here comes out of the banks, and the banks are made up of tailings from an old hydraulic mining operation. And as you may have noticed, you're sitting on a tree. This big old tree fell down a reasonable time ago, but it fell out of those tailings. And when it did that, it shed a whole heap of dirt the roots were containing into the creek. A flood's come along and concentrated the heavies out of that dirt in a line. All of the dirt that was washed into the stream on this side of the tree has been pushed into a straight line that contains gold. So there is a nice pay streak running through here, all the way down to about this point. Enter my sluice box. We're going to set this bad boy up and start feeding it buckets. I'm almost at the end of the 100 bucket challenge for those of you who are playing at home. Sluice box setup's usually pretty simple. Everyone worries about drop and how much water and all of that sort of crap. If you want to make it easy on yourself, all you got to do is put it in. As long as there's a V in the center of your sluice and the material is moving, not dead still, and not going ballistic, you're probably good. You're going to get a 95% capture rate. I still love and use my bucket classifier that I got from Matt's custom crevice tools. In certain creeks and situations though, it's easy to use the 1088 that has an inbuilt classifier. Different gear for different reasons. Anyway, back to the gold. Give me your pants. This is usually the part of the video where the creek makes a liar out of me. There was gold here last week when I tested it. I was like, I'll bring a sluice box back. But now I've got a camera on it. Our indicator minerals in this spot are ironstone, which is the darker coloured rock, and lead. Lead from shotguns and rifles. And that, right there, is the kind of gold that is coming out. This is a brilliant spot. That was maybe half a pan's worth of dirt. And for that half a pan, we got probably well over 100 coarse little flakes, including what I would call almost pickers. Every one of these bits has shape about them. You can pretty much pick up every large flake that's in the pan. As I stand here before you today, I am not sure how many buckets I am actually up to. So these unnamed brand buckets...
This was prior to receiving the gift cards from Bruce. Bucket sponsor is now Bruce's warehouse.
I'm gonna go to work, and at the end, when I finally edit this video, I'll add the tally down here. Sluicing is all about rinsing and repeating. It's about moving volume of soil. Once you find a spot that's giving you good gold, coupled with a lot of soil, it's how many buckets or how many shovels you can push through either a sluice box, a high banker, or a pan. That takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of energy. The bedrock is really close here, so most of my buckets are going to be made up of that shattered, decaying bedrock. That's where our really good gold is hiding. I don't think we're going to get too many buckets today. I think maybe 5, something like that. But it should be good gold for what we do get. I told you gauze is a problem. Clogging up my sluice box, I don't know. Ah! Why? First bucket run in under 3 minutes. Common question I get about this sluice box is, does the classifier plate, because it requires more water to run over it, cause any issues with the matting and capture rates? No. Well, didn't take long for the gold to show up. Holy crap. Them some good bits. And before anyone asks, yeah, I have metal detected this whole area. There's a chance I'll throw away a specimen or something like that, but if it was significantly big, I would have picked it up with the 6,000 by now. Come here, sexy. Ugh. That was a greedy tip. Ah. Oh. Far out, gauze. Jesus. That hurt. Woo, just 2 buckets in. That pocket. Never mind that pocket. Look at these pockets. See, the gold doesn't even make it to the mat. It just catches it in the tray beforehand, as long as you don't muck around with it. It's a pretty good example of how fluidity within soils works. You can see the gold is barely moving at all, whereas the ironstone, which is also quite heavy, is moving around a lot. That's what's happening in your sluice box. It's okay for the ironstone to be moving around. The gold's not going anywhere. My favourite thing coming back up to where you're digging and just carefully looking at the bedrock. We have a bedrock uplift here, and I think just here is probably going to be a drop off. I should test pan this section because it's in line with where the good pay is. Who knows, maybe I'll have more pay dirt than I thought I had. Kinda, maybe. Oh yep, yeah there is. Ugh. Let's see if my powers of observation help or hinder. I can hear that storm building, It's concerning. I don't want to be in a flash flood or squished by a big tree. We still have a reasonable amount of ironstone. Oh yeah. Oh, the gold is good. Man, mamma mia, the powers of observation compel me. I gotta get to work. We're gonna do more time lapses because storms and efficiency. I hate gauze. Ow, ow, ow. Ow. Get off. Ugh. Lord, I hate it. The gold's still there. You know that's looking pretty good. Every bucket I'm sending down is putting real decent gold in there. That's some fine stuff just accumulating. Come with me, bucket, if you want to sluice. Do you want to be a good sluice bucket, or do you want to be one of those regular ones that gets used for junk? There is so much coarse gold sitting in my sluice box right now. That's what we want. It's covered in ironstone. That's the decaying bedrock. That's a good bit. That's got to be washed properly. There are rare but big nuggets on this creek, and if I find the right deposit, the right spot with this decaying bedrock, there's a good chance that a big nugget will have sunk into that decaying clay. And I know a lot of people are going to think that, I'll lose a big nugget because I've got a classifier plate on it, but the trick is not to put your hand to the bottom. It's just to agitate the material so it stratifies. And I'm watching everything that comes off. And that way anything big and heavy is going to be on the bed and it's not going to move. So I'll see a big nugget just sitting there. If there's one here, that is. That is a specimen. That's why I love Specimen Creek. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. I mean, I wasn't lying when I said the gold's starting to pile up. Remember, this is piling up where there's not even any capture zones. Bucket 10! I did not think there was going to be that much dirt sitting on top of this bedrock, but man, we're probably going to get 20 buckets. And how's this for a test pan? It's still going real good. This is some coarse gold. I'm going to take it back. I don't hate gauze anymore. I actually quite like it. I just don't want it in me. If I could have it not in me and just protecting my gold, that'd be great. The water is crystal clear And I'm just taking a moment to do a little bit of specking, blowing away some of the silt, see if any specks or little pickers pop their heads out, because that would be really cool. Unfreaking real, finally found some. We've got this ironstone right hard up against a piece of quartz. It's embedded into the piece of bedrock itself. See that? It's just breaking away. And then I was just doing a little bit of this. There's the gold. Ha! There it is. Right there. Sitting on the bedrock. That's wicked. Sometimes it's good to take a break and just do something a little bit different. Reinvigorates the gold fever and it gives you more energy for more buckets. And if you'd like to help support my channel so I can keep making videos like this one, jump down to the description below where you can pick up some merch from the old moldy. And you too can shake your money maker. Just there, I got another flake. And another. That's not too bad for using my eyeballs. We have reached a critical stage. The gold gods are sending quite bad wind gusts. Of course, as soon as I mention that, it stops happening. And we're up to dredging. Dredging in Australia is 110% illegal and it has been since the 90s, except we're allowed to use hand tools just like this one. What they actually banned was mechanical excavation. You can't go into the creek with a bobcat or an excavator or a dredge because it uses mechanical equipment to dig the dirt up. Now you could argue that this is mechanical, but the other part of that law is that you can use hand tools. There's no engine attached to this other than me, because I'm a massive engine. And that means I can hand dredge legally, which is nice. But I'm totally going to clickbait this and say something about dredging chunky gold. Now you know. And generally speaking, the biggest bits of gold are always on the bedrock. Or in really thick sticky clay, which we have both of here. And so if there are any extraordinarily large bits, this is where I'm going to get them. The beautiful thing about hand dredging is that you get to see the bottom for what it really is after you've done all your scooping. I did tons of shovels out of this area and I still got hard packed gravels, just like that I didn't know were there and certainly weren't coming up with the shovel because I'd already dug in that area. And now we need to make sure that where that really good gold was coming from before is completely done. That is why I love hand dredging. The bedrock is spotlessly clean and all of this dirt came off an area I'd cleaned pretty thoroughly with a shovel. Hand dredging also kind of classifies your material, so it runs a lot smoother through a sluice box like this. Wash a little picker, roll down here and come up over there. We're still getting a nice accumulation of fine gold though. Three and a half hours and 14 buckets later, this is all done. There is still really good gold going up this edge and back towards the middle of the creek. I'm sure if I hand dredge this section that has a lot of crevices and exposed bedrock, I'll find more. But everything that I set out to get done today the bucket has been done. And that means we can finally do a sluice box clean out and see how much gold I got. Well, we have piles of gold at the top. Recently, I've had a lot of decent cleanups, but this is looking like a bloody good one. There's gold all across the top. I don't normally completely take this sluice box apart, but today I'm going to have to because we got gold everywhere. I'm okay with that. It's just a little bit more tedious. The one thing I do love about Dream Mat is it never leaves you with too much in the way of concentrate to clean up. Now because we are on Specimen Creek, and like its namesake suggests, there's a fair amount of specimens here. I'm not actually going to pan this off here. I just want to have a quick look and we'll do the full recovery at home. This is definitely not going to be a full reveal. You're only going to see a portion of the gold because there's too many cons in here for me to accurately go through. But we should be able to reveal a little bit of the gold. 15 3/4 full buckets. Some of them were only half or a quarter at the end. We've got good gold coming out on this side, eh? Oh, it's chunky. As I was saying, there's going to be more gold in this stuff down here, but look at that. Look at that. I can see gold in the sands. I know there's going to be specimens. And it's all coarse. Even the really fine little bits have got shape about them, which means that this is going to weigh up very well. That's so nice. All of the cons I managed to collect in my sluice box are now in this pan. And all of these pans contain concentrates from other cleanups as part of the 100 bucket challenge, but also the next challenge. In fact, that's the wrong drawer. In fact, this is how much gold I've managed to collect in the 100 bucket challenge thus far. That is relatively clean. I know, because I put it on the scales, that alone is over half an ounce, and we still have more in the tin, like a lot more in the tin. The 100 bucket challenge has been an amazing experience. It's really given me some perspective on just how much gold is really in the ground in the Northeast. In fact, the last 2 episodes that are coming up have some of the best days I have ever had on the creek. We're talking nuggets, chunky gold, and multiple grams. If you don't want to miss out on that, please consider hitting the subscribe button and turning on all notifications. And if you're a long-term subscriber, check your subscription status, because YouTube be unsubscribing you and me from other people's channels without our permissions. And as always, if you want to help support the channel, you can pick up some merch or pay dirt down in the description below by clicking on the old moldy and checking out my website. Now I know what you're thinking, Jesus Chris, that's not clean, and I'm very aware of that. But I would like to draw your attention to this. This is a little blue sapphire that I managed to recover out of the cons. Wicked little discovery. I find sapphires on Specimen Creek all the time. And I did end up recovering not only some small specimens, but some nice coarse chunky little pickers that I think deserve to be dropped back in the pan, but I think are quite special. My region is well known for very fine gold, so to find chunky coarse bits like this and specimens is not only rare, but very gratifying. And there's just something about this noise. So this gold is not totally clean. I haven't gone through the entire process of getting rid of everything, all the black sand out of it, and there's a reason for it. You can see this really fine gold here. And because I've only been doing rough clean downs of all the challenge buckets so far, that means there's a significant portion of gold to dirt. To be able to 100% clean all of the gold from the 100 bucket challenge down to nothing but gold, I'm going to need to have some extra dirt mixed with it so I don't get floaters. I know that seems counterintuitive, but there's going to be a whole episode on me cleaning everything up. So for now, we're just going to get a really rough weight. This is extremely dirty. I'm going to minus probably 50% of the weight off it, but bear in mind that the black sand is also 30% less dense than gold, meaning that you can have 3 times as much black sand to get the same amount of weight from the gold. Yep, 8.5 grams of mixed cons. I'm going to guess that there's probably 3-ish to 4 grams. And trust me, the final cleanup process is going to benefit massively from having that dirt.